Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
From the Ramsey Network, it's The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is George Kamel, and we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create amazing relationships. And that's what we're going to do this hour. We're taking your calls live. If you want to call in, the number is 888-825-5225, and we'll get you on. All right, George, let's get into this. You ready?
I'm so ready. I'm very caffeinated. I will warn you.
All right, I believe you. Straight to the phone lines where we've got Greg, who's in Nashville, Tennessee. What's going on, Greg?
Hey, I'm kind of in a pickle right now. So I've got a baby on the way, and I'm about $113,000 in debt, and I am kind of stuck right now, and I kind of need your expertise.
When's the baby get here?
It'll be this December.
Oh wow, okay, just around the riverbed.
I assume this is your first?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. The fear in your voice tells me you're like, oh boy. Okay, so you have $113,000 in debt. What is your household income?
So I owe about $39,000 left on the house. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house. The truck, I owe $35,000 left on it. The razor, I owe $24,000.
What's a razor?
And I owe about $10,000. It's a side by side.
Oh, okay.
Well, my next question was going to be what's a side by side, but you guys seem to know, so let's keep rolling.
It's one of these, little 4-wheeler, little kind of recreational vehicles.
Okay, keep going. And what else?
And then just $10,000 in just personal loans. But when I was thinking about taking all the truck, the razor, and the personal loans, combining them together, and just pulling out from the house to pay all of them off.
What?
So I owned the truck, and
let's run it back.
I didn't know.
Wait, Greg.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of Greg math you're trying to pull here, but there's a different way to do this. Why not just sell the razor, sell the truck?
Yeah.
Is it worth more than $35,000?
Well, but I don't. I would have to take. Well, how would I be able to sell the truck if I don't have the title to it, though?
Why don't you have the
finance company?
Yeah, once you sell it, you can do this all in one swoop. You go to the bank that holds the title, the lender, and you get the transaction done there. They write the check. You immediately pay off the loan. They get the title.
Do you know what the truck is worth, Greg? If you were to sell it?
I'm not. I don't know. It's like a 2014 F-350 Super Duty Lariat. It's a work truck. It's probably around.
That's a real nice work truck. When I hear work truck, I think this thing can be a piece of crap as long as it gets the job done. You're driving a pavement princess.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a sweet truck. So here's the deal. You got homework to do. Find out how much the truck is worth. Do you have anything in savings right now?
I've probably got about $6,000 maybe in savings.
Perfect.
$5,000 in savings.
So if you were underwater slightly, let's say the truck's worth $31,000, you owe $35,000, you have the money to cover the difference.
Okay.
What's the payment on the truck? So
they've got me at 19% on.
What's the payment on the truck, Greg?
$666.
And they didn't get you. You signed the dotted line knowing full well it was a 19% interest rate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the razor. Do you have any idea what that might be worth if you were to sell it?
I'm definitely probably going to get a hit on it. And I bought it right before I found out that we were having one. So it was 20 when I bought it like 23, but it's a 2023. So I'm probably going to take a hit on it. It's a 4-seater.
Well, let's do the homework. Let's do the homework on that too. Like George said, find out about the truck. The truck, I'm pretty sure you're going to sell regardless, even if you're upside down. Okay, that you got to get out of that truck. Same thing with the razor. Here's the thing, though. I want to run back the whole scenario here. The $113,000. Let's not include the house in that for now. I don't know if you were working hard to pay that off before, but for right now, put a pin in that because that's further along the lines, further down the baby steps. So we don't need to even worry about that. The good news, and I want you to hear this, the good news is the majority of the debt that you have, it's as simple as you selling it off. And that is a blessing in your situation. And then all you have to do is come back in and worry about this $10,000 personal loan. Here's the deal. You've got a baby coming. And typically when we talk about baby step 2 and babies coming, we say, hey, put a pause on and let's get the baby here. Let's stack up as much money as you can. Let the baby come. Let everybody be healthy. And then when you feel like kind of that storm is over, then you can push play on everything that George and I just said. But right now you've got $6,000 saved. Right now I want you to stack up as much money as you can get your hands on. When by the time, January 30th comes, you're probably going to be ready to push play on this plan here to get rid of the truck, get rid of the razor. And to George's point, if you look it up and you find out that you're upside down, and it's more than the money you have saved, then you're marching down to the credit union and you're getting a loan for the difference. And that way you have all the money that you need to give the bank for this, for this vehicle. And so that's how that works.
Don't take out for the house at all to pay them off. And then
don't dip into your equity at all. That's not doing anything. You're just moving debt around at that point.
Are you able to make the payments every month or are you behind?
No, I've never been late to any payments.
Good.
So.
What's your household income?
In total, because I work 3 jobs, I can pull in probably about 100,000.
Wonderful.
A year.
And is your wife working currently?
She is. She does work. She probably pulls in. I would say about maybe 35,000 or so a year. 35.
Tell
40.
us per month. What do your checks look like every month when you bring them in?
In total, I can pull in about 6,000, and her, I would say probably about 3,000 or
okay, good.
25.
Are you investing at all right now?
I was gonna make the house a rental house at first.
No, I mean, are you investing into like a 401k or anything like that?
No, I don't have any of that set up.
Okay.
Do you want to know what I think happened, Greg? I think that you guys are doing all right. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Yeah, I think that you guys are doing all right for 23. You're making over $100,000 a year, and you're like, ding, ding, I can drive the truck that I want. I can get this little side-by-side that I want. And you kind of got caught up in the fact that you're actually financially, like the income you're bringing in, you're doing really, really well. It's just you didn't know better than to make these decisions, but now you do know better. You see that they're a drain on all that money that you're working so hard to pull in. And I hope that you see, I hope this drills in the lesson from here on forward. We don't go into debt for the things we want. If we want it, we save up, we pay cash for it, because it's not worth all this, is it?
No, not at all. It's stressful.
I know. Having a baby, you're supposed to feel happy and have stars in your eyes, and instead you're feeling the stress of a payment of a side-by-side. So lesson learned. Yeah?
But that baby's going to be worth all of the sacrifice. When you bring it into a house with no debt, with a great financial future, we're looking out for you. We want to give you a little gift. It's going to be every dollar premium. It's going to help you along this journey. Make a plan for all of your income, every single dollar. So hang on the line. We'll gift that to you as you have the baby on the way.
Congratulations, guys. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
This is The Ramsey Show on the Ramsey Network. I'm Jade Warshaw, joined by George Kamel, best-selling author. George, way to go.
Thank you. So
You're
kind.
welcome. You know, I like to give props where props are due. Hey, selling a house the Ramsey way makes home ownership a blessing instead of a burden. I can attest to that. The Ramsey Trusted Program is the only way that you're going to find an agent that you trust that's going to keep you on track with what we teach here at Ramsey. You can get the best offer on your house or find the right house for you. And here's the thing. This is how this whole thing works. If you're wondering, Jade, why do I need to do this? The point is there's a lot of teachings here. And if you've been listening to us for a long time or a little while, if you're interested in the way we teach things, you want your real estate agent to understand that. Otherwise, they'll be leading you off track. So you want a Ramsey Trusted Pro. What happens is we're going to send you some of the top agents that are in your area. These are people that we trust, but you get to review them, you get to interview them, and you get to decide which one ultimately that you want to work with. So you still have all the power here. Ramsey Trusted Agents, they have years and years of experience. They're going to help you make wise decisions. And I told you before, I can attest to that. I have a Ramsey Trusted Agent. She's great, Mandy Lynn Festi. She helped us buy our house, and she helped us do it the Ramsey way. That's what this is all about. So when it comes to pricing, marketing your house, or choosing the right offer, you need a Ramsey Trusted real estate agent. Did I mention, guys, that it is for free? It's a free service. You can go to ramseysolutions.com/agent. Love it. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Jacob is in Detroit, Michigan. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm great. How can we help?
So I've been thinking about financing a Rolex. I'm 20. I'm employed, working full-time job plus overtime. I'm single, so I'm debating on doing it.
Interesting. Why wouldn't you just pay for it? Why would you put on payments?
I just don't want to put myself in a bad spot overall. I have a car that I pay for as well, and an apartment that I pay for monthly as well. So,
you have a car payment, you're saying?
Yep.
So you want to add another payment because that's going to help you win financially?
Yeah, financially, and kind of help boost my credit.
So the guy, I don't know if you heard this, the last hour a guy called in. His name was Greg, and he was really about to come unglued because he felt like he was doing well in life. He was a young cat just like you, and he started with one purchase, and then he went to another purchase, and before you knew it, he had over $100,000 in debt, and he was calling us ready to tear his hair out. And so what you're about to embark on feels like the beginning of that same series of events. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead, George.
I'm just wondering what caused you to go, I need a $7,000 watch that I can't afford? Was it friends? Was it you see Instagram, or do you follow you just into watches?
Yeah, I'm into watches.
Okay, what's the most expensive watch you own right now?
Probably my newest Apple Watch.
Okay, same here, bro. Same here. That's the most expensive watch I'm willing to pay for right now. How much is this Rolex?
I was looking at one that's roughly around $8,900.
Okay.
$8,900.
Here's the deal. You are not in a place financially to buy this watch. Even if you had the money, I would tell you not to do this because you have other debt. I assume you have financial goals in life. Do you want to own a home one day?
Yes.
Okay. I would rather see that as a priority versus the flex of a Rolex. Are you trying to impress someone?
No, not really. I just would like to own it for myself. It's my goal one day, my dream to own one, so.
Well, here's the thing. I love that goal. I love that there's something that you're into. You like watches. There's certain things that I really like.
Jade's into sneakers.
I'm into sneakers. But there is part of this, I don't know if you've heard it before, but we say it all the time. We say you live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. And the first live like no one else is all about doing the things in order to set yourself up financially. So in your case, it would be paying off this car debt and deciding, hey, I'm not going to go into debt again. And then from there, it's making all those choices so that at some point, it might be when you're 25. You can turn around and buy this Rolex watch in cash. How much money are you making at this point?
I'll say $40,000 a year.
Say it again.
$40,000 a year, I would say.
Okay, $40,000 a year. You're just getting started. And I think that that's the thing that I want you to take away from this call. You're just getting started. The truth is, like George said, you don't make enough to buy this watch. You really don't. And
it's too much of your world right now while you're carrying debt. Speak directly into your phone, Jacob. I want to make sure that we can hear you clearly. I want to know how much total debt you have right now.
I'd say 17. with my car. It's a brand new car.
I mean, to do this, I just looked at the numbers. With tax, you're going to be spending 25% of your yearly income. Ooh. You make $40,000 a year. This thing's going to cost you $10,000 when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, not really.
That's all. As long as you understand that going from this call, I've done my job.
The goal, Jacob, for, when I was 20, I get it. I wanted just nice stuff. I thought I deserved it because I did all the things that, my parents told me to do and society told me to do. And I went, all right, I'm an adult now. I got a real bona fide job. I'm going to get me some stuff. The problem is when you make decisions like this where you finance things, the stuff has you. Mm. And so you got to decide, do I want to look wealthy or do I want to be wealthy? And eventually, life catches up where you just want to actually be wealthy and have freedom and margin and options. And when you want to look wealthy, you tend to just finance your life away until you have $1,200 in payments, $1,500 in payments on crap going down in value. Mm-hmm. And so if you can learn this lesson now, Jacob, you're going to be so wealthy, you can have multiple Rolexes one day. But that day has not come. We got to get our financial priorities in order, and that's getting out of debt. We need an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months expenses. We need a down payment. That's going to set you up for success.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, George, the things that I wanted to buy when I was in debt, when I was around his age, 20, 21, 22, 23, the things that I thought, oh, God, I got to have that. It's clothes and it's the newest thing. It's the newest Apple Watch, the newest iPhone, the newest whatever. At this stage in my life, it's so funny. Now that I'm out of debt, I can actually afford many of the things that I want to get.
And you
I just don't care. It's like, it just evaporates.
This is the superpower, Jacob. If you can stop caring what other people think, you will win financially. That is the greatest superpower, to just stop the comparisons. And I know you're saying this is for me, I want it for me, but guess what? The watch isn't just going to sit. It's going to be on your wrist while you're out, and everyone's going to go, oh, bro, you're doing well for yourself. They don't know that you got bills to pay. You have a car payment, a watch payment, adding stress to your life. And we found that debt is not a blessing in anyone's life, and it's not worth it to finance a car, a watch, a 4x4, Razor, a Polaris, whatever it is. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, going back to that live like no one else so later you can live like no one else. I think sometimes, and it can be, I'm not saying it can't be this, but sometimes people walk the steps, the baby steps, and it's like, when I'm done with the baby steps, I'll be able to buy the Rolex and I'll be able to buy like all these big major things. And I'm not saying you can't, because like you said, I like sneakers and sneakers can be expensive. But do you want to know, George, the things that I love the most?
Guessing it's not sneakers.
It's not sneakers. I love going to the grocery store and buying expensive, like a juice that's kind of like ridiculously expensive. That's my thing. I want to load up and I don't even have to think about it. Whereas before I would have been like, I'm never going to pay $4.99 for that juice. And now I'm like, give me the $4.99 juice. Give me 3 of them.
You ever see
give
people
me 8 of them.
Like at Costco and the cart is like overflowing? And I'm like, dang, they're doing well. Yeah. That's my new, like, you're doing well. If you can fill up a cart at Costco.
Fill up a cart at Costco. You give zero about it. You go have a hot dog and it's that on that.
Yeah. But when you're young, I get it. Like, nice stuff is more important to you. And as you get older, it becomes less and less important. Because number one, you put better people around you who don't care about that stuff.
But I think
you start to have priorities. You got responsibilities and things matter less. And you want more experiences and meaning and,
I think it's too, you come out of your parents' house, right? It's like at that age, you're coming out of college, coming out of your parents' house, and you see all the things that they have. And for you, that equals success. Like, I know I felt that. It's like, okay, they have a house. They have 2 decent cars. They, seemingly they have a house full of furniture. That's nice, And it's like when you strike out on your own, you're trying to get that so fast.
Today.
Yeah.
It took them 25 years to get there, or 35 years to get there.
Heck yeah.
And you go, well, I want to shortcut that.
Yeah.
There are no shortcuts to wealth or meaning or happiness or joy, including the Rolex. I'm not mad at Rolex. It's a beautiful watch, and I hope Jacob gets one day. But I hope he does it with cash after he's accomplished more important financial goals.
That's true. That is so true. Yes, that's right. It's all about temporary sacrifice, short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. That's what we're teaching here. This is The Ramsey Show.
You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is George Kamel. Hey, if you enjoy this show, we're so glad that you're here, first off. We're so glad that you are listeners. Technically, y'all are the reason that me and George even have employment here, so there you have it. Because if it wasn't for you, there'd be no show, George.
It's all about the people.
It's very bleak when you look at it that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of scary. So thank you all for listening and calling in. We need you.
Keep listening. And hey, while you're listening, do us a favor and share the show. If you can share it with the people that are in your life, you can do that on whatever platform you're on. You could email a show, or you could text a show that's your favorite.
Fax it. I don't care.
Fax. Wow, that's different.
Go old school.
But whatever platform you're on, do be sure to like and subscribe. All of that really helps us. And for you, it takes almost zero time and it's absolutely free. And by doing that, you can help the show that you love so much. And we would be very, very grateful to you for doing so. So again, like, share the show, subscribe on whatever platform, and we would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We'll spare you the telethon if you do it this way.
Yes.
Remember those old PBS telethons?
Oh yeah. How could I forget?
Maybe we should try it one day. I don't know. I'm open to it.
No, I don't want to do that. They had all the phones
is
that
saying
they could
no,
answer.
thank you.
All right.
No
telephone. Okay, let's go to Jack. He's in Boise, Idaho. What's going on, Jack?
Hi, Jade. Hi, George. Thank you for having me today.
You bet. How can we help?
So, about a year ago, my wife and I finished the baby steps, paid off everything.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm 60. She's 60 as well. We're worth about $6.5 million.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah. We're crazy blessed. And then $5 million of that is in paid for income producing real estate. We make about $200,000 a year net. That's for everything.
Nice.
Here's
just from real estate.
So, yeah. So, and we both work some. So money's not an issue, except kind of in our relationship. While we were paying this off, we gave each of ourselves a $50 a month budget. Spending money just for fun stuff, going out, coffee, whatever. Very tight. Now that it's done, I've got her to loosen that up on my side to $100 a month.
Oh,
whoa!
Wait a minute.
Living on the edge, Jack.
I feel this is very tight. Like no one can breathe in this budget.
Your budget's got skinny jeans on it, man.
You get coffee like twice, maybe out to eat with a friend once.
Jack, why are you not loosening these purse strings looser?
So because I'm getting tremendous pushback, like tremendous pushback, and like my wife still thinks that I'm overspending at $100. She's like, I don't know why you're happy with 50, and how do we get past this? No one. How do we get from the first no one else to so we can live like the second no one else? And we travel.
That is a big shift to make. I think I saw her episode of Extreme Cheapskates. I think she was on that show. Is she that person who just super frugal and this is how we got here and I like it this way?
She is, and like now we're banking money for no reason.
Yeah.
What are you doing with all the extra money? Because you're spending none of it.
We're just investing it. It's just going into
for what and
money
for who?
Markets temporarily, and then that's my question. I don't know.
You got to give this money a goal.
Let's spend some money.
Do you take any trips, or is this just daily spending? She doesn't like to do a lot.
We travel a lot. We do a lot of stuff together, but it's kind of like. it's my personal. It's that person. It's like, hey, I want to go out for coffee. I want to go out and grab a bite with friends. It's that kind of stuff.
Wow.
It's the singular stuff.
If you could have it your way, what would that line item be on the budget for Jack?
Oh, I mean, it really $400 or $500. I mean, it's not. I'm not looking for thousands. I'm just looking for.
So if you said to your wife today, I want to spend $500 a month for fun stuff, what would she say?
She would look at me. She couldn't imagine why.
Now, okay. I think this is the conversation that needs to be had. Because what I want to first call out is I think it is very normal for there to be things that, I mean, my husband is sitting out in the audience. There's things that Sam would spend money on that I'm like, help me understand why you would ever even be interested to spend even a quarter on that. And then there's things that I would buy that he could never understand why I would spend money on that. So at the end of the day, this is about you guys' interests and being able to value each other's interests. And so she's saying, hey, $400, like that's a lot of turkey sandwiches. How many lunches are you going to? But you clearly are a very relational person. You like going out. You like seeing people. You like to do things over food or lunch or whatever. And that's just who you are. And I don't think that it's not to say that she has to go out and spend that money. But I think having that conversation and saying, hey, we've worked very hard. This is a very small percentage of our world. I've heard Dave talk about ratios a lot and really kind of looking at it big picture and saying, hey, here's the percentage that we're saving. Here's the percentage that we're giving. We need to be really intentional also on the percentage that we are enjoying and spending for ourselves. And so I think that's the way the conversation has to start to evolve. And if you want to do anything else, you can play her this clip and say, hey, these two, people on the radio agree with me.
Well, there's two things here I see, Jack. Number one, you have to get to the root of what's actually causing this, this kind of frustration she has. Is it just, I don't understand why you'd spend that? Or is it truly a fear of scarcity of we're going to run out of money if you keep spending like you're in Congress?
I think it's a fear thing. And I'm always like, you realize, I'm like, I'm sorry, the $100 a month. I'm like, do you know how many months I could spend $100 a month and never go through any real amount of money? Do you know how many? I mean, we could go 1,000 years at $100 a month. And
I don't know the math would even impress her if you went, hey, listen, we're never going to run out of money.
Because I've tried that, because that's my bent. It's like, well, let's just do the math.
That's why I think this is there's some like trauma here, maybe from childhood, the way she grew up. We didn't have money growing up, and now we have some, and if we spend it, we're going to go back to how that was. So, I mean, this might need a third party. She might benefit from going to counseling or therapy and connecting with our friends at BetterHelp to go, I want to get to the root of this because I don't want to live like this. I want to enjoy life and be more open-handed. And the other thing, Jack, I would recommend is as you guys sit down to do the budget, force yourselves to spend more, to save more, and to give more.
How does she feel about giving?
So we give a lot.
Okay.
Way over 10%. Yeah,
okay,
we give usually about 20%, maybe a little bit more.
And why is she comfortable with that?
Well, she's not. I make her do it. So
okay, interesting.
Like, so all she wants to do is save. Correct?
Well, yes, yeah, pretty much. It's save and travel. She likes travel. She likes to travel.
And why is she okay with travel but not coffee?
I don't know. That's where I'm going. Is it because it's us versus me? I am not sure.
It's just where I think it's where she places her value. It sounds like
she values experiences.
This is
not
worth it.
Stuff and things and food.
Yeah, this is worth it. That's not worth it. And so I think it's really just, hey, we've both really worked hard. We both have to feel the reward of this. And I love that you feel the reward of traveling, and I love traveling with you, but I really feel the reward in day-to-day life. I just like being able to go and pick up lunch, play golf with my buddies, and it's no big deal. And I'd love for it to reflect, for both of those things to be reflected on the budget. Right now, the traveling is reflected. That's great. I would love let's just try it. Let's give it a trial period, and I think you'll see it doesn't really affect our life much. And so that's probably that's the way I'd frame it up. George, what would you say?
I would agree on a ratio. Right now, if he spent $500 a month, that's $6,000 out of their $200,000. That's just coming from the real estate. That's 3%. So if they just agreed, hey, we're going to agree to 3% of whatever our yearly income is, which is it's not going to make a dent in our income. It's not going to make a dent in our investments. would you be okay with 3%?
I love that. And, a really great way to see that is on Every Dollar. When you open up Every Dollar, there's all the line items there, but they're divided by category. And so most of us have like a house category, and it's like in that category is your rent or your mortgage, your utilities, everything that has to do with the house. But then you might have a category that says like leisure or fun. And it might have things like saving for a trip or going to the movies or, anything that you consider fun. And what's really great is Every Dollar splits it out and it will show you the percentage that you're spending. So if you ever have questions about, oh my gosh, am I spending too much on food or am I spending too much on childcare? You can go over to the right side of the screen and you'll be able to see the percentage. And a lot of times it'll either put you at peace or you'll go, holy moly, I need to make some changes.
Well, they got a flat tire because they're saving 90% of their income, but very, not as much giving, not as much spending. I think we need to loosen up to be more well-rounded.
Yes. Mrs. Jack, I don't know your name, but it's time to loosen the purse strings. Live a little. This is The Ramsey Show.
So, George, we talk a lot about identity theft, and we take calls from people that do, but yours actually got stolen.
Well, don't say it with that much happiness, Dave. It's true.
Gosh.
I do not recommend it if you can avoid it at all costs. And that's when I was much younger. I had worse hair and a negative net worth. But I worked at Ramsey at the time, and so I was covered by Xander ID theft protection. So thanks, Dave, for covering all of us here.
Absolutely. Well, one thing, Xander helps us do that. So it's a great benefit for the team, but it's a great benefit for everybody because Jeff Xander and I have been working together for, 25 years. We've been doing stuff together since before there was an internet. And so when the internet came on and identity theft became this real serious problem, he and I started talking about it, and he went and figured out a way to build an identity theft protection for the Ramsey tribe. That's how the whole thing started at Xander. And it's the most complete because he customized it. He custom built it from the ground up. It's the most complete and cost-effective protection out there. It's the best identity theft out there.
Yeah, I was raised by the internet as a millennial, Dave, and it's scary knowing how many websites are out there with my information. So Xander ID Theft, they bundle all the cyber tools I need to protect my identity. They've got VPN encryption, 24/7 customer and recovery services, and even home title monitoring. So even if your ID does get stolen, they help you, like they did me, by restoring your life back to normal with up to $2 million in protection for stolen funds, which is incredible.
That's a big deal. So, guys, you can't go without ID theft protection in today's world. It's just too much going on. There's too many people have already stolen your identity. It's out there floating around. You've got to have this full recovery protection. Xander is the best. So, Xander.com. or call 800-356-4282 for the most complete identity theft protection out there. Xander.com, 800-356-4282.
This is The Ramsey Show on the Ramsey Network. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is George Kamel. And George, I just need you to do one thing.
Hit me.
Talk nerdy to me.
Okay, if you don't know what the heck Jade is talking about, we have done a long-running segment now. We've done at least 2 of them, which makes it long-running, where we talk nerdy to you. We explain what could be a complex financial topic, and we just hit you straight with exactly what you need to know to simplify it so that you can, have a little financial prowess at your next dinner party and kind of drop some stats on them.
Okay.
So here's the one for today. It's compound interest.
Ooh.
This is something we all like. We hear about it. We kind of understand it.
Yeah.
But then I'll post on Facebook and I'll be like, hey, if you invest this much a month from age this to this, you'll have $3 million. And they go, what? How is that? You haven't saved $2 million. I'm like, you're right. I put in $200,000 and it turned into $2 million.
Ooh.
So we're going to explain the sort of science behind that. And speaking of science, Albert Einstein, I don't know that this is true that he actually said this, but he is quoted on the internet a whole lot.
He is quoted.
Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world.
Listen, I agree with him. It's when it's working in your favor, it's amazing. When it's working against you on a student loan, like only God can help you.
That's right. So this is the secret for building wealth. When we talk about building wealth, baby step 4, becoming net worth millionaires, compound growth is a key here. So this is when your money earns more money, and then that money earns even more money. So it works like a snowball, but instead of debt, you're collecting more as it goes down the hill.
Give it to me in numbers.
Okay, so let's say $1,000.
Okay.
And you earn 10%.
Okay.
So 10% of 1,000,
$100.
So after 1 year, you'd have 1,100. Your 1,000 plus the extra 100 you made.
Got you.
But now think about this. You earn 10% the next year, but it's not on the original 1,000. It's on the new balance.
And there's the difference.
The balance now is 1,100, and you're going to earn 10% on that.
And then it keeps...
Which is another 110. And so you can see how it starts to snowball as not only did your principal make money, but your principal plus interest now made more interest.
Wow.
So that's the strategy here. And after 10 years, it would almost triple. So an easy way to think about this, it's called the rule of 72.
Okay.
So if your money is making 10%, every 7.2 years, your money would double.
Love it.
So 1 million turns into 2 million if you had an average return of 10%.
And we tell people that all the time when you have that lump sum sitting there. You know, people call in and they want to know if they're going to have enough in retirement. I love being able to quote that because it's kind of like, oh man, I never thought of it like that.
Absolutely. So we can walk through a great example of this. And if you're wondering what the rate of return is, where we're getting this number, this is not like a wet finger in the air. This is the average return historically of the U.S. stock market is about 10 to 12%. This is before inflation. So post-inflation, it's probably closer to 7, 8, 9%.
And it's worth noting there, a lot of times people make the mistake of looking at the stock market year by year.
And they go,
instead of...
How are you making 12%, Jade? Mine is at 4% this year. And we're going, that's the average over a long period of time.
Yeah. You're looking for the annualized rate of return,
so
not
if it's
just
negative
annual.
4%, and then next year it's plus 20%, and
that's
then
right.
it's 4% the next year, you average all of that out.
That's right.
All right, so let's look at a chart that really explains the power of this and the power of starting early. We're going to look at two guys named Ben and Joey. So they both Ben starts investing at age 21.
Okay.
He's a young whippersnapper. He got out of college debt-free. He's crushing it. He invests $2,400 a year.
Excellent.
$200 a month. That's not a whole lot, but he stops contributing at age 30. So 9 years, he contributes at $2,400, and the total amount he contributed was $21,600.
Wow. Okay.
Now, what is his total when he turns 67? $2.1 million.
Without ever adding more?
Without ever adding more. He stopped at 30. So he turned 21,000 into 2.1 million just by not touching it and let that snowball roll with compound growth.
Wow.
Now his buddy Joey, well, he didn't make as many wise financial decisions. He finally gets the ball rolling at age 30.
Okay.
He starts investing $2,400 a year, but this time he doesn't stop at 30. He keeps investing until he's 67. So 37 years of investing that same $2,400. He ends up contributing $88,000. $88,800 to be exact. You would think, well, he's got to have more than Ben. He invested way more. No. Joey ends up with $1.2 million.
Ooh, so time was on my friend's side
Almost
there.
$1 million difference because of that extra 9 years Ben had his money compounding. So it's not necessarily about how much you contribute. It's really about how much time you let it sit.
Yeah, each year it's compounding.
In that crock pot. And that chart, if you're wondering where that came from, that's actually from our Foundations in Personal Finance curriculum that we teach in half of high schools across America. And this is the kind of stuff we wish we learned in school growing up, Jade. And now you can, which is great.
I think this is really important. I think a lot of people... they forget about compound interest. They're thinking about simple interest. They're thinking, if it's $1,000, you're always going to have interest on the original lump sum. And with compound interest, it's even better than that. It's always growing. So that's wonderful.
Well, now to be clear, people go, well, Jade, if it's so important to get started early, then why do you tell people to pause investing until they're out of debt?
Well, here's at the end of the day, that time is usually negligible. And I always tell people all the time, if you're messing around and playing around with the baby steps, you're going to screw yourself. Because if you say, yeah, I'm working the baby steps, I'm in baby step 2, and then you play patty cake with it for the next 7, 8 years.
I'm trying to pay off some debt. I'm trying to invest. I'm trying to save for a house. You can't do 7 things at once and do any of it well.
Yeah. And then you mess around and you put your stuff on hold for the next decade. Well, yeah, you just screwed yourself. But if you do it the way we teach, most people are out of debt, George, in 2 years or less. And so that's really negligible in order to have the full power of your income at your disposal so that you can invest 15%, which is far more.
Most people are doing 3 or 4. They're going, I'm going to get the match and I'm going to just put the rest in the back burner.
That's right.
That's not enough to retire with dignity.
That's right. And so the way we teach it, not only are you getting your debt cleared off, but when you do finally start to invest, you're investing far more than you would have. Therefore, you're going to make up the difference pretty quickly. And so this works. At the end of the day, you know, people can question it, but there's 30 years of experience behind this. And I know, George, you work the baby steps. I work the baby steps. And the cool thing is, George, I was the person who had to wait 7.5 years. Because it took us 7.5 years to pay off our debt. Then we turned around and saved 3 to 6 months. Then we turned around and bought a house. Then we started investing. And I can still tell you on this side of it, it still works. The principles still work, so you'll be good.
And there's still time. So if you're hearing this, you're going, well, that'd be nice. I'm not 21, Jade.
Listen, I'm Joey.
I'm
Joey
40.
is right here.
There's still, even if you, let's take this example. You're 35 and you finally started investing. If you invest till 65, $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year.
That's
with
your
an
car note.
average 10% return. Exactly. They go, where am I going to find $500? That car payment looks a whole lot like $500. Pay that thing off or sell it, you'll free that money up. Well, from 35 to 65, $500 a month, 10% return, $1.1 million.
Wow.
How much did you actually contribute? $180,000. So when you look at that, you go 80 to 90% of the growth was stuff you didn't even do.
On that example, $1 million was growth. Is that right?
Almost. The growth was $950 in this example.
Holy moly.
And so you just, look at these numbers. I'm using our investment calculator on our website, and you guys can punch in your own numbers and start to have some hope that you can retire with dignity, and you don't have to wait on the next person in the White House or go, I'm scared of the stock market. I'm more scared of you not investing at all and retiring broke.
So true. Yeah. And back to this, these are all things that some of you are listening. You're like, I just never heard this concept before. That's why it's so important. Foundations and personal finance. I was walking out of the building the other day, leaving work, and a guy walked up to me. I think he told me his name was Jefferson. He was like, hey, Jade, I just want to tell you, we're in baby step 7. We paid our house off. Now I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, you look extra young. So I said, how old are you? He goes, I'm 31.
Whoa.
I said, 31. I said, I have to know more. He goes, Jade, I had foundations in personal finance as my curriculum in high school. And so I knew never to go into debt, never to go into student loan debt. And so when I came out of college, which I paid for in cash, I saved up 3 to 6 months. I did my down payment. I started investing 15%, paid off the mortgage. And at 31, no mortgage.
That's insane.
Insanity. But that is the power of the things
getting
we
this
teach.
information. And here's the thing. If your kids don't get this through the curriculum, through the Ramsey curriculum, they're going to get it from TikTok. And TikTok and Instagram are not telling them to stay out of debt. They're telling them to get into debt, and somehow that's the key to building wealth. But we've seen in reality the exact opposite to be true. So if you're interested, you can go to RamseyEducation.com and, hassle your schools, your teachers, your administration to go, hey, we got to get this curriculum in the school. What are we teaching these kids? Show them how to budget. So important. Let me tell you, you might be a little late to the game. You might be Joey. I was late to the game. And even if money didn't come from you, even if you didn't come from money, money can still come from you through your kids and changing your family tree. Preach.
Do it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Before we get to the next caller, I got some good news for you. Even when this portion of today's show runs out of time, there's still plenty more for you to tune into. Just head on over to the Ramsey Network app to finish today's show for free, right there on the home screen. And if you don't have the app, just search Ramsey Network in the App Store, Google Play Store, or click the link in the show notes for an easy download. You never know what call's coming up next. So finish today's episode in the Ramsey Network app today. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
From the Ramsey Network, you're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is George Kamel, and here we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create amazing relationships. And we do that with your calls. This is a live show, so be sure to give us a call, and we'll talk about your life and your money. The number is simple, 888-825-5225. That's the number that gets you in. All right, George, let's get to the phone lines.
Game on.
On and popping. All right, we got Lee. She's in Columbus, Ohio. What's going on, Lee?
Hi. You guys are like my two favorite pair. I'm so excited.
I cannot wait to tell Ken and John and Rachel and Dave. That's so kind, Lee. Thank you.
How can we help?
Well, I think my question is actually pretty timely. I work in local government, so I'm in a pension.
Okay.
My husband and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6 newly, but I have always been required to put 10% of my money or my salary into a pension.
Okay.
And now that I'm looking into it, I have the opportunity, and I can only do this once. I cannot take it back, to switch to a member 401k type of plan.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I just, I can't roll over what's already in the pension or anything like that, but I've been in service for 9 years, and I love my job. So this isn't a matter of like staying at my job, but if I'm looking at retirement even 25 years from now, because I'm 35, say at 60, is that enough time to still, contribute my 10%, and then I'm matched at like 7.5% from the employer?
Amazing.
That's awesome.
100%. I would switch over to the 401k
instantly. And the good news is, and George is going to go over a bunch of reasons, but for me, you're going to get to choose the investments, and you're going to have a better mix. And I think that for me is the thing. And by the way, I just want to call out, I want you investing 15% when the time comes, not 10.
Oh, right. We can't contribute more than 10% in this particular plan, even the 401k, but we have, I'm contributing above and beyond in a deferred compensation.
Okay,
it's like
got
a
you.
457.
Gotcha.
So that's where the other money would go, but the 10% is like what we're locked into, required for.
Is there a Roth option with the 401k, or is it just traditional?
It is just traditional.
Okay, because your other option is a Roth IRA, as long as you're not above the income limits, and that can be a great place to start for some tax-free growth, and then you can do the rest in that traditional 401k. Mm-hmm. So I would invest up to the match. You said how much is the match?
7.5%.
And is that regardless of your investing, or is it up? You invest 7.5%,
and I have to do 10% no matter what. They just happen to match up to 7.5%.
Okay, awesome.
Now the 457, do you have to go to that next, or can you go to a Roth IRA next?
Oh, I can switch it to a Roth IRA. That was just something I was contributing to in addition a while ago, but now that we're in 4, 5, 6, I'm like, we have to look back at this. So now that I'm looking at other contributions, I can switch totally over to a Roth if I wanted.
Yeah, I really like the idea of obviously you want to get the match, but to George's point, having that Roth there, we get calls all the time of people who are on into retirement age, and most of what they have are traditional accounts, and they have these required minimum distributions and everything, and it's like, oh my gosh, they just wish that they had rolled it over into Roth style accounts earlier. And so I think it's important to have the right mix of that going in, and if you can start that earlier, I think it's a great thing.
Okay, and then one more question. I'm basically with building up, so I will be required to take, once I retire, I think retirement age, it would be full benefits at 62 for the pension. It is a payout per month, since I have done 9 years of service, at like $700 a month. If I were to wait till 67, it's up to $1,300 a month, and I'm just like, there would be the option with the account value, which is about $100,000.
You can take a lump sum
over, and so the lump sum is $44,000 out the door, but I could roll it over. Like if I ever left public service, which I don't intend to, but if I did, I could roll over the full account value, which is about $100,000, into an IRA at that point. So I don't know if I have that chance at retirement, but I'd rather do that.
Yeah, as long as there's no penalty, when the age is right where you can do this without penalty, I would take the lump sum and invest that on your own. Mm-hmm. And that way, again, you have more control over it. It can pass down to your heirs, because the problem with pensions is they die with you. And so
Right.
there's
Exactly.
one big benefit to moving it over. And the other reasons, Lee, the average return on pensions is not great comparatively to what you could get in a 401k where you have the options. So a pension plan might be 7%. With the 401k, it might be 12% or more. And then when you die, you can pass it down to your heirs with the 401k. With the pension, it'll die with you or maybe your spouse at a lower amount, survivor benefits. And again, you own the 401k, the company owns the pension. And how long does the money last? Well, it's your lifetime with the pension. And with the 401k, it's until the money is gone as you keep passing it down generationally.
Oh, yeah. So if the health of the business starts to go down, that could definitely affect your pension in a major way.
Which with the government, it'll be here to stay. So I'm not as worried with the government pension just disappearing, but I do like the idea of you doing better on your own with more control and more say.
Very good. Very, very
End
good.
of story.
Good call. Thank you so much for that call. That was great. I kind of cut her off a little bit.
Sorry,
I didn't mean
Lee.
to
She
do
was
that.
probably saying something really cool.
Lee, I love you. That was a mistake. That was a user error.
Well, she can always call back for more. We love Lee.
She's like, I'm not coming back. She hung up on me. It was an accident. We love you. I love that. George, we get those calls all the time about pensions versus 401ks versus Roth IRAs versus IRAs there's so many
abbreviations. It's exhausting.
Okay, so let's talk nerdy to the people and let's explain the best way to invest their money when they hit baby step 4.
Oh, that's good, because we kind of talked around it with Lee.
We talked around it, yeah.
So the easiest way is remember 5 words. Match beats Roth beats traditional. So that's the strategy here.
Yes.
So if you have a match with your employer retirement plan, let's take that first, because it's a 100% return.
Free
you put
money.
in 4%, they put in 4%.
Yes.
That's a win.
Free money.
Beyond that, Roth, that's just a tax treatment on the account.
And it just means simply that you're paying taxes now, so you don't have to pay the taxes later in retirement.
Exactly. And then lastly, you have traditional, which means we're going to, might get a tax advantage now, but we're going to have to pay taxes on that money later.
That's right. It lowers your taxable income now, but later on, when you're in your retirement years, when you go to pull that money out, it's income, so you're paying taxes.
And there's a big discussion and debate in the financial community amongst the nerds about, well, Roth versus traditional, and should you be doing Roth now versus... The truth is, if taxes stay the same and income stay the same, it would be an exact wash. But we're kind of hedging our bets going, my guess is taxes might be higher now than they are today. And we don't know what your income will be. Everyone says, well, Jade, in retirement, your income will go down. Maybe, but I don't want to have to limit how much I'm enjoying my investments because of tax reasons.
Yeah,
so I love
good.
the idea. When you look up at 62 and you've got a Roth IRA with $2 million, that's $2 million of after-tax net money that you get to use without Uncle Sam ever getting his grubby hands on.
I know that's right.
So,
I know that's right.
And with all of that, you haven't actually invested yet. Those are just types of accounts and investing strategies.
So how do we invest it, George?
Well, mutual funds or index funds outside of retirement, that's a great way to do it. Giant groups of stocks.
Yeah. George, I like the electronically traded funds.
ETFs.
Yeah.
Exchange trade. Yeah, they're kind of like mutual funds that trade like stocks, which I don't love for that reason. Kind of gets you a little bit, ooh, should I jump in? Should I jump out?
Yes.
Not a whole lot of reasons.
Me saying that was me being them.
Thank you for being them, Jade. You're just like the rest of the trolls. I thought you were so much better.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, George, for the crash course on investing. This is The Ramsey Show.
Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Thanks for being here. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is best-selling author George Kamel. Today's question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. If you're in over your head with private student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, I know how that feels, you need Why Refi. Why Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And they give you a low fixed rate loan that's built for you. So go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey today. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. It may not be available in all states.
Today's question comes from Peter in Wisconsin. My son let his home get to within 10 days of foreclosure before telling my wife and me that they were in trouble. He has $350,000 in equity. I could not let this happen, so I paid the $35,000 that was owed, which made them current on their loan. I've explained to him and his wife they need to sell the house and get the equity out and start using the Ramsey plan to manage their money. Now they won't talk to me or my wife. Did I do the right thing in helping them out?
Ooh.
Well, clearly not, if it destroyed the relationship. I think it was well-intended and a very sweet thing to do, but the problem is they didn't seem to ever ask for your help or your opinion in these matters.
And it all has to do with how you explained it. Were you like, look at what you did, you guys never should have been, like that's different than explaining it in a better way.
No, he seems like a wonderful person. I think it's on them that they reacted this way, because he said before telling my wife that they were in trouble. So he came to him 10 days before foreclosing. This had clearly been going on for months. This foreclosure doesn't happen after 1 month of missing a payment. And he goes, hey, we're in trouble. So clearly he was looking for help by going to the parents, letting them know about this problem. And so I think, truthfully, there's a lot of shame and guilt here.
I think you're right.
And now it makes the relationship kind of like a business transaction where you come across like a lender. And now it's awkward because I need a daddy to swoop in and fix my mess.
Well, they don't say. There's an interesting piece missing from this on whether or not the kids owe the $35,000 back to mom and dad.
It doesn't sound like he wants or needs the money. So yeah, if he said, well, when I asked for the money, they stopped talking to me, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Versus a gift of like, hey, listen, I'm going to get you guys out of this bind, but you gotta please follow this plan. I bet it was a well-intended situation.
Yeah.
But my worry is, if you didn't save them, like they're going to be right back into this mess. And so
exactly.
While I would love for them to follow the plan, I think they clearly could not afford the mortgage. And so even getting them current on the loan doesn't solve their problem. That's why he's saying you guys need to sell the house, get the equity out, do this the right way. So my fear is they end up right back here and go, Dad, I'm in a bind again. We're behind 3 months on payments because they didn't actually change their habits.
Yeah, I agree with you, George. Matter of fact, James, I think we need to add a segment where we show up at the people's door who did the question of the day, and we can ask them more questions
Peter,
about
if you
their
hear
question.
This, call into the show, and maybe we can talk more through it. It's a very interesting situation.
It is.
But did I do the right thing in helping them out? I think it was a noble thing to do. It's what, personally, I love my daughter. If she was in a bind, I would do anything for her.
100%, yeah.
But again, if she didn't ask for it, I don't know. But they asked. He came to him with a problem. My daughter knocks on my door and says, hey, we're on the brink of foreclosure. I'm going to do whatever I can to help them out.
Yeah.
And then steer them to the plan. So I don't know that I could have done anything differently.
Yeah. I mean, it's different. There's one thing. It's kind of like you don't want to be an enabler. Like if it was a situation where this has been going on for a long time and helping them would be, in a sense, giving a drunk a drink. Or it's very possible that they just had, a slurry of really tough things happen and it just resulted in this, foreclosure situation. And mom and dad were like, listen, we can help. So more details are needed, but George, I think you're exactly right.
I would have been like, hey, I'll give you the 35, but you guys are going to go through Financial Peace University tomorrow.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
you're going to go through every lesson.
If we can send that to Peter to send to the son and daughter,
probably
that'd be
have his email, right, Producer James?
Okay. Yeah, we'll try to.
That'd be great.
We'll give that to them as a gift and see if we can get them on track, because I want to help them for the rest of their life, not one time in a bind.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we've got Ann in St. Cloud, Minnesota. What's going on, Ann?
Hi, this is Ann. Thanks for taking the call today.
Sure.
You bet. What's up?
So my question for you is basically, should I quit my job? So a little bit of background. My husband and I, we got married, had a baby, and bought a house all in 1 year.
I hear that baby hooting and hollering.
Yeah. He is going to be a little bit whiny in the background, so my apologies.
Did you say you got married, bought a house, and had a baby all in how long?
1 year.
Ooh, mama. Okay.
And what's your current job?
Yeah. So I work as an administrator for a ministry. And the problem is there is some morally corrupt stuff going on with the leadership.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. It was like a dream job when I took it. And so good for our family. But now it's like I kind of have no choice but to leave.
Yeah.
So what's next?
I'm just kinda,
we know you're leaving.
Exactly.
We need to line something up. I don't want you just quitting and going, well, I'll just figure it out over the next 4 months.
Yeah. What's the income you need to try to make up here?
Well, bare bones budget, my husband and I will be able to make it by without even dipping into our emergency fund. So that's the good
So
news.
living off of his income?
Yes, he can take overtime, which is super, super helpful, but it's not a way to live.
Yeah. So what were you making?
I was making about $3,800 a month.
Okay. So we need to make up that income, or at least most of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the thing. My husband's really supportive, but I don't know what my next step is. And I don't want to put my child in daycare, so I might look for some at-home admin work, but I'm really just not even sure where to start.
Well, let's kind of start by looking at the financial picture so we can know what needs to be done. What baby step are you guys in? Do you have debt?
Luckily, we're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6.
Good. Okay.
How much is in the emergency fund?
We have about $36,000.
Wow,
Great,
that's a big old emergency fund.
Is that too much?
Well, it sounds like it's a lot more than 6 months based on what you've told me.
Yeah, both of our take-home pay is about $7,500 a month.
Okay, altogether.
Okay, good. So
So you're looking more for help on the career side of what to do next for a job?
I'm looking for that, and just if I can afford to stay home with him too. So could I afford to
Well,
be
you just told us
part-time
on a bare bones budget you can get by, but that's if he works overtime. So it's not
and you
super
said that's
sustainable.
no way to live.
Right.
So we need to get his income up, or you need to work part-time in order for this to make sense.
So what would it look like? You know, you were doing the job in the ministry. Is that something that you would want to do again at another ministry? Do you tell us more about what you feel like you're qualified to do and the work that you would want to do?
I put her on hold with the baby yelling. You can get her back, Jade.
Let's see. Where is she? Line 2. Sorry about that, Ann.
There it is. That baby's got pipes, can I just say?
She's rolling in. Here's what I think. I'll just kind of give you the synopsis of what I think. I think you guys need to get onto Every Dollar. Do you have Every Dollar?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Then I think you guys need to get on there and figure out, okay, what amount of money, because it may not be a full $3,800, but what amount of money would take you out of that unsustainable place to where it's like, okay, we're not on bare bones, husband's not having to work overtime all the time, and we can kind of live a life like this. And maybe it is $3,800. But then after that, it's all about you sitting down and going, okay, what can I do? What would I like to do? And then I'm getting on all the sites. I'm getting on Glassdoor. I'm looking to see what's available. I'm looking for work from home options. I'm looking for part-time options. And I think at this point, you're just kind of pounding the pavement, as they say, and knocking on doors to get another job.
And we can help you with that. Ken Coleman has a great book called Find the Work You're Wired to Do, because maybe this is the career path in the administrative space. Maybe it's not. So we're going to send you this resource. With that, you're going to get the Get Clear Career Assessment. Take that and then start talking to your friends and say, hey, does this line up? All of this assessment stuff, what I'm rating, does this line up with who you know me to be, my personality, what I'm wired to do? And that might be a work from home admin job. It might be something else. And, maybe you go make some crazy money and you go, I want to get a full-time nanny in-house.
Yeah,
because I don't want to do daycare. You have the options, but we do have to figure out the financial piece.
Yeah, but the good news in this is because you guys did the right thing, it frees you up to now for you to be able to do the right thing with this job. You don't have to stay in a job where, morality is being questioned or, negative things are happening or even illegal things. I don't know what's going on over there, but you got the emergency fund and you can get out and you can get another job. Hopefully that pays more. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, here's a quick math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day. So you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks to focus on the activities that actually make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headaches as they scale, they need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite is cloud-based. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. So join the 37,000 plus companies, including Ramsey Solutions, that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your free KPI checklist.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Thanks for listening. Listen, guys. You need cash. I know that you need cash, and so I've got just the solution for you. The Ramsey Cash Giveaway is here.
We're trying to give you money.
Yes.
And it's Dave's money, which is my favorite type of money.
And it's a lot. $10,000 cash.
That's the grand prize. Wow.
$10,000. It used to be like $3,000. $10,000 is a lot of money. This is one of our biggest giveaways.
Inflation hit the giveaway too. We're like, we got to up it.
That's right. That's right. Accounted for inflation. I love that. Thank you, Dave. All right. If I had $10,000, I can already tell you right now, that's a vacation. For some of you, that is paying off a student loan. For some of you, that is, going towards your 3 to 6 months of expenses. All I know is $10,000 is a bag, George. And if you get that, it has the potential to really change where you are right now. That's several full tanks of gas. I mean, there's a lot you could do with 10,000.
That's at least 4 Stanley tumblers. At least 4. It's amazing.
Those things are so expensive. So if you need $10,000, if you could really use it, you can enter. Go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. And here's the thing. You can enter every single day. And the more you enter, the more it increases your chances at winning. So do that. Now through August 31st. Not only that, George, but we're also having our $12 sale. So now's your chance to not only enter this cash giveaway, but you can also grab one of our best-selling books at a lower price. So whether, you're trying to do better with your money, whether you're trying to deal with your anxiety, whether you're trying to get your job and your career to the next level, we've got books and products that will give you a plan, that will give you hope, and they're at a discount, $12. So guys, look no further. This is the assignment. Go to RamseySolutions.com/store and then go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway to get your $10,000 entry. That's how this works. Whew.
Any other announcements, Jade, before we keep going?
I got another announcement.
All right.
This
for the
is
good of the group.
This is for the good of the group. Listen, you guys who like to listen to The Ramsey Show, I want you to know that after this segment, the next 2 segments, we're going on to the app. So if you want to keep listening and finish the show for the day, then you need to head over to the Ramsey Network app. You can do that by going, into the App Store and downloading Ramsey Network app. You just search it in the little tab and it'll pop up there. But if you're used to watching the entire show, that's where you go if you want to finish the show. And I'd really, recommend that you do that because there's a lot of really cool things within that app that you can discover while you're
listening on radio, you keep doing you. The show's going to continue on radio. This is for YouTube and podcast folks.
That's right. And so there's 2 ways to get the app. You can click the show notes. They'll have it there if you're, just like to click a link. Or if you're savvy, like I said, just go into the App Store and, Google Ramsey Network.
If you're extra savvy and you're watching right now, there's a QR code on the screen. If you know how to take a picture of that and go to the link.
That's right, George. That's good.
For the extra tech folks.
Yeah. And if also, let me just say, for those of you who have submitted feedback on the app, we've heard you and we are working to make the experience even better. We're always working to make things better for you. But really, we're just getting started with this app, and all the time we're adding more cool features to it. So this is just like, rock with us on this. Keep rolling with us on this. It's all going to be good. Don't miss what's coming up next. Go to the app so you can watch the full show. Okay, I'm off my soapbox,
Jade's
George.
going to bring it in the next hour.
Listen,
that's a tease right there.
The calls coming up, they're bangers is all I'm saying. You don't want to miss it. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Matthew in Dallas, Texas. What's going on, Matthew?
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Hey, so I just recently sold my my business.
Nice.
The commercial landscaping company. Yeah.
Nice.
How much?
It was $300,000.
Hey,
that's a good payday.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, there's some business debt involved.
Oh, did
so
you
where are
pocket
we at now?
It's not what I netted.
Oh, what'd you net?
So after paying off the business debt, paying off my some personal debt, I netted around $105,000.
Okay.
And so I still have the truck. I still have a truck that's in my name, but the new owner, because I'm going back to work for the same company that I had that I owned.
Oh, wow.
So you'll be an employee now instead of the owner.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What's owed on the truck?
So I owe $28,000 on the truck, but he is giving me a stipend of $500 a month to pay for the truck. So it doesn't fully offset the cost of the payment, but it almost does. It's about three-fourths.
And would he pay you that $500 a month until the truck was paid off, or was there a limit on how long that would last?
As long as I stay with the company, basically.
But if you paid off the truck today, would you still get $500 a month for a stipend?
I would. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
Pay it off, man.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, so that's my question, I guess. So that's all we really owe. So I owe my truck. My wife's car is paid off. Our house is not paid off.
Okay.
But we have a ton of equity in our house.
What's it? What do you owe on it? Just curious.
$385 on our house.
Okay. Any other debt?
And it's no, ma'am. Nope.
Awesome.
So you pay off the truck. You're left with $77. How much do you have in savings?
That's all our money. My wife has about $28,000 in her 401k. And
so no other debt.
That is our savings, but there's no other debt. Correct.
Great.
Besides
So
the house,
what I would do is I would put away 6 months of expenses out of that 77, and the rest you can start attacking the mortgage. If you have kids, you can start putting away some for college. That really sets you up.
Yeah. Well, and I guess my other question to that is that I'm going to have some long-term capital gains, and that's my fear. So I'm like, well, if I pay off the truck, like I said, I owe $28 on it. If I pay it off, and then I have to pay the capital gains, but I'm actually paying the capital gains on almost $300,000, and then plus, whatever our income is.
Are you working with a tax pro on this?
Yes, I am.
So you'll know exactly what the number is, and so come tax time, you'll need to have that money set aside. I'm guessing the 77 is going to cover it.
Yeah. You think I should wait to pay it off until I find out what that number is on the tax?
I mean, I pay it off ASAP if it's due, but if it's just part of your April taxes.
When will you know?
Well, I won't know until they do our taxes, so probably next year.
Okay.
So it'll be part of our 24 taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So I won't know until she starts doing the taxes for us.
I wonder if they could do an estimate.
I'm sure you could get an estimate from your tax pro now to go, I want to make sure I have enough set aside because I know there's going to be a big bill this year.
Yeah.
I'd look into that.
But you all wouldn't have a problem paying off the, do you think?
You're not doing, you're following to the letter of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I would work with your tax pro to make sure.
To you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Welcome to the crew, man. Yep. You're doing great. Yep. What's your new income now as an employee?
Well, it's $1,400 net per week is what I'm making.
Okay. And is that similar to what you were making before as the owner, or is that a lot less?
It's actually a little more because he owed me some commissions that I'd sold before I sold the company. So
what can I just ask? What made you sell the company? Did you sell it just to clear debt, or what was
to get out of debt?
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. To get out of debt.
Cool.
Well, here's the good news. You know how to do it, and you could do it again debt free one day if you wanted to.
That's right.
Yeah, this time I would have a different plan for sure.
Well, very, very good. Hopefully we helped you out. Thank you so much for the call. And George, you bring up a really good point. When it comes to things like this, if you need help with taxes, we have tax pros here. You can go to RamseySolutions.com/trusted, and there's all the services that we provide, but amongst those are tax pros.
And they follow the Ramsey plan.
Yes.
They're not going to steer you into well, you really should go buy this $100,000 truck for a write-off.
That's
they don't
right.
say that kind of crap. They're going to make sure that you're following the Ramsey plan, helping you stay out of debt, helping you avoid IRS, back taxes. And that's a big one, especially for business owners. We tell them, hey, file quarterly estimated taxes.
That's right.
Make your payments. Set money aside every month. Set 25% aside, whatever it is for you, to make sure that you're covering that, because IRS debt, we put it at the top of the debt snowball when we hear about it, because the IRS can screw up your life. They can garnish your wages. They can sue you. They can put you in prison. So we don't mess with that.
That's so, so true. And you're right, George. The big point is those Ramsey trusted folks, they do follow it our way. Because before I worked here, I was just out. I'm out in the world. I'm looking for a tax pro. It's hard to find people who will align with
your values,
the way that we teach, and the values that you've said, okay, yeah, this is the way I want to live my life. But once we started using those pros, it made it so much easier because I don't have to explain it. I don't have to explain to them the baby steps. I don't have to explain to them why I care about getting out of debt, why I don't want to utilize debt. It makes it so much simpler. So again, RamseySolutions.com/trusted. That's where you want to go to get the help that you need with taxes, real estate, and more. This is The Ramsey Show. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is George Kamel. We're taking your calls, but not this segment. This segment, we have something fun planned. It's a budget review. All the time we talk about Every Dollar. It's the best budgeting app out there. And so many of you utilize Every Dollar, but you still have questions. You do it, and then you're like, Jade, something's still not mathing right with my money. Can you help me out? Maybe there's an area that I'm overlooking. And so that's what George and I are going to do this segment. I had basically it's a Google Doc, George, and I went onto social media and I said, hey, if you want me to review your budget, just fill out this Google Doc and with all the right information, and I'll pick one of your budgets. And so we've got Janai and Skylar. I'll give you a quick synopsis, and really cool, they're actually on the phone line today. Woo! So it's Janai and Skylar, 35, 36 years old, a stay-at-home mom and an electrician. They're from Utah. They make $69,000 per year, but they bring home about $5,600 per month. Did I get that right, Skylar? I've got... Oh, okay.
I don't think that's me.
Okay, got it.
What are the odds that there's another Skylar on the line?
I know,
which
right?
Is super confusing.
That's crazy,
okay.
Yeah.
Janai, hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for putting your business out there for the good of others to learn and grow.
Yeah. No,
that's
cool.
Great.
Thanks for having me on.
So did I get the numbers right? You're bringing home about $5,600 per month. Let's see if we can pull it up on the budget to see if we got it.
I'm confused because you make $69,000 a year. That's about take-home pay because $5,600 is $67,000 a year.
Yeah, so we budget based on, it's kind of was a tricky situation, which is why I'm so interested in talking to you guys. We budget for him working a 50-hour week, which is right about $1,400 a week, which is the $5,600 take home a month. So I don't know what it all is like before taxes and stuff. But,
got it. Okay.
Cool.
But we end up making more because he works extra overtime when it's available, and his job, since he's in construction and they're so desperate for men, or
So the $5,600 is the lowest that you would bring in.
The lowest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we bring the budget up on the screen and take a look at it with you? Yeah. Let's do it. All right. So you may not be able to see this in real time, but you can go back and watch it. Mm-hmm. So
we've got your every dollar budget here. We plugged it all in, and we have your income at the top, $5,600. $1,400 a week.
Yep.
As we move down, we're going to go to giving. You're giving a little to the church, $201. Savings. We have school savings of $200. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So he's still in trade school, and so we are just putting $50 every week. Basically a sinking fund
to cash flow
for tuition every semester. Yeah,
love that. What about the emergency fund? I think you told me that you had $1,000, but you had to dig into it recently.
Yes, we had some dental. I had to get a crown last week, so we'll be able to rebuild that by the end of the month back to the 1,000.
Okay, excellent. Because you also told me that your biggest goal is to pay off your debt. So you guys are baby step 2 people. So we'll kind of filter all of the information we give you through that idea of you'll at the end of 30 days you'll have the emergency fund back, and then it's game on paying off the debt. So George, let's keep looking here.
All right,
car maintenance.
You got some car maintenance, $100 a month.
That's good. I'm happy with that.
And then we have the mortgage at $1,650.
Yeah, the first thing I thought is it's a little bit more than what we'd say the 25% rule. I think that it's $250 more. So I think that for you guys,
it's not on fire.
It's not on fire, but just being aware of that will change the way you spend going forward. So utilities, everything like that, looking good on here,
Natural
George.
Gas, electricity, internet, nothing crazy here.
Gas,
we have fuel
normal.
for the car. Now we have groceries at $750. Is this just for you two?
So we have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old.
Party.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
Plot twist. We didn't know that. Okay, great. So $750 for groceries, I'm not mad at. I will say with the restaurants, I try to cut that down. You've got kids. It's inevitable. You're going to pop through a drive-through or order a pizza some night. So maybe pop it down to 40.
And make that like your emergency scenario. Crap hits the fan, but try to limit it to nothing. Try to go, can we avoid eating out while we're trying to get out of this debt?
George, can you change it to 40? Let's see if it adjusts.
Oh, this is fun. Yeah, let me change it to 40 because as you see at the top of the budget, they've got $103.80 left over if they follow this budget to a T.
That's the margin right now. So the goal here, since you're trying to pay off debt, the goal is to get the margin higher. And look, already, I can't see it from here, George.
We're
what
at
is
$243 now in margin because we brought the restaurant category down. So if we keep going, we have phone at $221.
Let's talk about that.
Are you guys trying to pay off a phone within that?
I think mine is on there. And then our streaming services are bundled in there as well.
Oh, okay. So if there's a phone payment in there, figure out what it is and pay it off this month. Like knock that out so that bill becomes lower.
And you can then switch carriers. I'm guessing you're with a name brand carrier right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I would switch to affordable carrier. Like I've got a Tello partner with me on my YouTube channel. It's $25 a month, Janae, for Janae for all of the unlimited everything plan. So my wife is on that plan and she loves it for $25 a month. So that could shave a lot off of this category.
And then of course I'm going to personal. I love that you guys are thinking about fund money for the two of you, but in baby step 2, I don't think this is the phase for that. So if I were you, I'd knock that down to $50 between the two of you during this phase. As much as it pains me to say you guys are using the same shampoo, you're using the same body wash, that's what my husband and I did, and that's going to save you what?
But look at this now. We have now $493 in margin.
That's excellent.
So see what we're doing here, Janai? We're trying to go, where can we find more margin? And it becomes a fun game. So I think your phone, you could do better there. That'll come down later. Let's keep going down to lifestyle. We got union dues. I'm assuming we have to pay the union dues?
Yes.
I see a big one, though, that I got questions on, and that's Xbox Live.
Who's playing Xbox?
That one's non-negotiable.
Who's
it for?
That's for Skylar. Yep.
Okay.
That is his decompress.
Can I ask a real question as a man with a baby? How does any father have time to play video games with a 9-month-old and a 2-year-old?
Well, they go to bed early enough, and he is a night owl. He sleeps he doesn't sleep really, but yeah, that's his decompress.
Okay, it's an $18 difference. It's in the grand scheme of things, singularly, it doesn't make a huge deal, but if you have a lot of these little things, they do add up. So we'll call this your one freebie, because again, they do add up. So
which means we're cutting Spotify.
That's
Janae.
right. Spotify, then we're dropping down.
What are we doing here? Can we cut it? Can we go Spotify free, Pandora?
YouTube?
Can we sing?
Yeah.
In the shower?
I would say probably yes, but we also pay for it's the family plan, so we have siblings on it.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Tell them you're getting out of debt. Say, hey, guys.
Wait. If it's the family plan, then they should be paying their fair share.
Uh-huh. Just talk to your family. Say, hey, guys, we're going down to like bare bones. We're trying to pay off this debt for this season. Yeah. We got to get out of this. We're listening to our music on YouTube. So let's move past that one right quick.
Okay.
George, before we go to the debt, one thing I did notice here, Janai, is there's nothing for a cushion or miscellaneous.
The catch-all category.
And I kind of think that just to save your sanity,
I'm going to add it.
Let's just add that on there because there's always something that pops up, right? It's like,
let's put
grandma's
another $50
birthday.
in there for
so
some
we'll
catch-all.
add that. I like that. So here's right now margin for the debt. We're at $443. And of course, now here's the debt. We looked at this and you've got
3 cards, a timeshare, a car loan, a student loan.
I mean, this is eating up $1,108 per month.
And that's with a $10 student loan payment, which tells me you're on a program where you're paying nothing.
Yep.
Which is probably good for now.
This is where our income, I kind of referenced earlier, is kind of funky because he works anywhere between 50 and 60 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
But his the contractor that he works for, it pays an incentive bonus of $100 a day just for showing up for work.
It's amazing. I want that.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So
and before we run out of time, I do want to tell you this. Before we run out of time, right now your margin is at $443. If he keeps getting these incentives and these bonuses, I want you to see if you can get that up to around $1,000 a month between the two of you combined. Because I ran out the numbers on you guys' debt snowball. If you do it with the margin you have now, it's going to take you 35 months. But if you can find $1,000 in bonuses, side hustles, and anything extra to add to that, it cuts it by 13 months.
So down to what? Less than 2 years?
Yeah, 22 months. You can be completely debt-free. And so, Janai, thank you for letting us share this budget. I'm sorry we got, busted on the time here. Yeah. But the key here is side hustle, get it up $1,000, and you're going to be on the debt-free scream in 22 months. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what are you still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you got to jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right. Go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, it's getting weird over there, guys. What do we do?